Okay, so this one is really, really sad because for the likes of me, I would never in my life trust any babysitter, not police officer, a therapist, a doctor, a nurse, a pastor, a judge, or any relative in my family. Because if you don't have good intentions within your spirit, within yourself, when it comes to having kids, or better yet, hiring a babysitter, then you deserve to be blamed for not taking care of that child. And I don't want to put the blame on the parents because honestly, they have no idea that this babysitter would end up doing stuff like this. And I'm trying my hardest not to put the blame on parents, but I'm starting to get to that point because it's something about the story really makes me think that the parents have some fault in this. 31-year-old babysitter in Indiana will not spend any time in prison for abusing and neglecting multiple children. In her case, punching, slapping, and kicking the victims when they would act up. Hancock County Circuit Judge R. Scott Skirt on Thursday ordered Merle Fisher to serve 3 years on house arrest and an additional 2.5 years of probation, court records reviewed by Law Crime Show. First of all, the part where it says that 2.5 years of probation, it's like you're giving these criminals a slap on the wrist because they're privileged. And I hate to sound like I'm throwing a race card in this situation, but it's true. Because anytime when we see stories like this, they always get away with crimes. And it's really sad to me that you can't even trust the system. Because right now, kids, you know what I'm saying, kids are the real victims. And it's so sad to me that you have adults like this that refuse to take any accountability for their own actions. And the judge, the fact that he or she allow her to walk away scot-free and you give her 3 years on house arrest, 2.5 years, and what? You can't make this up. It gets worse from here. Fisher was intentionally arrested in 2022 and charged with 10 felonies, including multiple counts of neglect of a dependent resulting in bodily injury and battery resulting in bodily injury to a person under age 14. However, she reached a deal to prosecutors in which she agreed to plead guilty to 5 counts of neglect in exchange for the remaining charges to be dismissed. The only reason why they pleaded guilty is because they want to get out of jail free card. They want to go and enjoy their lives and enjoy their freedom while the kids are out there suffering and being miserable because of one crazy individual. And the fact that this nigga let her go, really? That's why the kids ended up being how they ended up being. Because of people like this. Not only that, but I feel like the system has really failed these kids. According to the report from the Greenfield Daily Reporter, a detective with the Greenfield Police Department on September 15, 2022, responding to a call from the Indiana Department of Child Services regarding alleged child abuse taking place at Fisher's home where she babysat for multiple children. Upon arriving at her address, investigators reportedly spoke to Fisher about a child in her care who suffered multiple injuries, including bruising and abrasions to his forehead and nose. She claimed the child suffered from the injuries from a fall several days earlier. She also acknowledged that several other kids have been injured, but explained that they simply play rough when at home. First of all, that's not true. You caused the injuries, and you were 100% responsible of how these children ended up being in a situation because you just a bad babysitter. You are the absolute worst babysitters I've ever seen coming from Indiana. And the fact that you pretty much put the blame on the kids, claiming that they play rough sometimes, they didn't just fall because you caused the injury. I hate when people do this all the time. Listen, if the cops ask you a bunch of questions, at least you could have done was just be accountable and just admit your wrongs. Stop lying. Stop bringing up multiple excuses. If you did wrong, take accountability and responsibilities for your actions and stop lying to yourself and stop lying to the authorities. That's why your behind got lucky because you. Let's move on. Bruising and abandons to the. Okay, I already read that. But when authorities interviewed the children, the victims provided details in stark contrast to officials' explanations. One of the children even provided police with a visual example of abuse acting out for detectives. So basically, this part is saying that one of the kids described the details of how the incident came to be. And it really goes to show you that kids are not stupid. They know way more than us. And that's sad. The fact that kids always have to witness stupidity from certain adults, and the fact that they have to tell on that individual because they know more. I'm telling you, kids are smarter. Don't let the little kids, out there playing ball and being kids fool you. Some are mature, which means that they know and they're smarter. But this part says a lot. The victim stood up and started kicking his legs and throwing his arms. While doing this, he was grunting. The evidence says, according to a report from Indianapolis Fox something, the victim stated that this is what Maria Fisher does when she's mad. When another child's mother asked him how Fisher's disciplined kids, including his younger siblings, who acted up when at her house, the boy reportedly responded, "Mom, you get beat up," including getting punched or slapped should he spill something or make a mess. When that victim was interviewed by professionals at Zoe's Place child center actually, police said, he basically just told everything and provided like more information about the babysitter. And so even though the kids pretty much shown all of the information, the judge still, for some odd reason, did not see any evidence. So it's because she's a woman, you let her go. What the heck is going on in today's system, in society? And it really goes to show you that you cannot trust anybody. And I'm still pissed off at the judge for allowing a monster, a criminal, to walk away scot-free. It's crazy. The same thing that happened in California, where a woman stabbed this man 100 times over some weed and they let her go. The same situation is happening with the babysitter. Even though the kids exposed her and provided details to the authorities, and yet the judge did not see it. I don't know who this judge is. Well, I'll probably say his name, but I don't care. He's trash. We need to start putting women in prisons, give them the same treatment as the men. Don't give them any special treatments because they're women. They're just as evil and conniving as the men are. Accountability is kryptonite to these people. And I'm sorry if I'm tongue twirling everywhere. I'm just pretty fed up with stories like this. So at the end of the day, enough is enough. I feel bad for the kids. My heart goes out to the kids and the parents who thought that they trusted the babysitter. I wouldn't.